Hi, welcome to Artville at Home. I'm Miss Grams. Today we're going to make a diorama of a biome. This is a diorama. A diorama is just many different ways of creating a space that you can imagine yourself walking into. I've made a diorama of a Minnesota biome. Do you know which one it is? This is the Prairie Grasslands biome. I've tried to make some grasslands up here, this front part. This in the art world is called the foreground. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but foreground is a fancy way of saying the stuff that is closest to you. So this is the foreground. Can you see I've made some animals? I've got a bee. This is a prairie dog. And here I have a pronghorn antelope. So this is the foreground. The foreground I used collage. I cut up paper and I pasted it on to make a pattern. This part is the middle ground. Okay, can you tell what I've done on the middle ground? I've used crayon here, and over here I tried paint. You can do it any way you want to. If you want to do all collage, if you want to do all crayon, if you want to do all paint. Mine is mixed media. I used a lot of different things. In my middle ground, I put in a tree. There's not too many trees on the prairie grassland, but there are some. So I made a tree. Can you tell what that other animal is? It's a buffalo. Then the very back part is the sky. That's the background. The part that is farthest away is the background. Can you see what I have flying here in the sky? I made a bird. Chante. If you make a prairie grassland, I think you could make a fantastic eagle. So I'm looking forward to that. So this is my prairie biome. I'm going to set it down over here. You can make, I think, unless your teacher has told you something different, I think you can make any biome that you want to. I'm focusing on the ones in Minnesota. There's 3 biomes in Minnesota: pine tree, coniferous, hardwood forest, and prairie grassland. That's the one I just made. Okay? So for this project, you're going to need at least 2 boxes. I'm using my favorites, the cereal boxes. You can use cookie boxes, you can use cracker boxes. I know Vivi used a Girl Scout cookie box. Now your boxes, I'm going to show you how to cut them. I'm using, because I have big hands, I'm using my big scissors. You can use any scissors. I'd rather you use a safety scissors, but I'm using the big ones. You're going to cut it from the top, cut it on the fold, right down on the fold. And you've got to turn that corner. Turn that corner. Like that. Ooh. Okay. Now it opens up. I'm almost there. I'm going to take a little cut, one more little cut into this corner, because I want it to open up like a book. So that is going to be my background. The farthest back, the sky. Now, you can watch this one more time. I'm going to try to go a little fast. You got to cut 2 because you're going to make the background. Let me get a little bite out of that. You're going to make the background, the foreground, and the middle ground. Okay? Now, my next biome, I'm not going to make another prairie grassland. I'm going to make the coniferous forest, the pine trees. Now, the pine tree, now this one, you have to think a little bit about the ground. So any crayon, I'm going to draw a line about in the middle and think, is it flat? Is it hilly? Is it mountains? You've got to make that line the way you think the ground is going to go. I'm going to make mine a little more hilly than the prairie grasslands. Just some hills there, okay? Because this one, the pine tree forest, is going to have some more pine trees in it. And I know when I go up north, to a cabin or to a lake up north, it's a little bit hillier than it is down here. So I'm making hills. Okay? Now I have the middle ground. Okay, now it's kind of crooked there, but later on. Now for this one, this is going to be the part in front, the part closest to you. This is going to be the foreground. I'm just going to fold it like that a little bit. And now it's a little bit smaller. You see how it's going to go? The part closest to you, the middle part, and the far away part. Okay? Now, you got to color these. You can't leave them cardboard. And there's different things you can do. You can, on my Prairie one, I did a lot of collage. Okay, I happened to have this great seed magazine, and I just cut up pictures like this, and I glue them on, okay? You can do that too. If you have a magazine with some green parts in it or brown parts, whatever parts you think you need, you can use that if you want to do the cut up collage, okay? I'm not going to actually do this because we don't have time for me to go through the whole thing, but just to give you an idea of how you could make it. Another thing you can do is you can use crayon. This is going to be a pine forest, and this part is sort of close to you, so maybe you're going to draw some pine trees, because these will be closest to you, okay? So you can draw some pine trees on this. You can draw lots of pine trees, like that, or maybe you're just going to color that thing pretty fast. You can turn on your color cranker and you can go really, really fast. And you can color it really, really fast. Okay, if you put on your coloring muscles, you can get that thing colored in no time at all. And then you can go back and you can make some kind of impressions of pine trees. Impressions just means sort of fast. They look a little bit piney, but they're not exact. So you can go back and you can make some pine trees like that. Okay, that's that one. Now, if you don't want to crayon, you can also use paint. The kind of paint I have is in these paint markers, okay? They're kind of dabby like that. Can you see that, Mr. Bobby? This is how my paint goes on. If you have the kind of paint that you can brush on, that would be great, okay? So you can do this, like that. And like I said, I'm not going to do the whole thing because we want to go through this part pretty fast so that you can get to start making your own. So already, though, you can see how it's going to be. I've got my foreground, my middle ground. Oh, the sky. Super important. Okay, and the sky you can do the same way. If you've got crayons, you can do the color cranker method where you color so fast in the sky. It doesn't have to be blue. Somehow I always get stuck making a blue sky, but you can do a sunset sky. You can do so many different kinds of skies. And even though it seems at first like so much work to color it with crayon, it really goes pretty fast. But again, like I say, if you want to, you can paint it. And you can even paint right on top of color crayon. And it looks kind of awesome, like that. So I'm doing this. And up north in the pine forest, you know, sometimes the skies, it gets very stormy and cloudy up there. You can make clouds. I had a great idea for making clouds. If you have some of these cotton balls, you can glue cotton balls on your sky. I think that would add a lot of pizzazz to your thing. Don't just, you know, you can pull them apart a little bit like this, stick them on. So now I have a nice kind of a interesting sky going on. I think that's pretty fun. Okay, so now, again, I haven't done a very good job. You can see where this is going, but I wanted to quickly show you how you can add, because the important thing in a biome is all the plants and animals, how they all work together. So you've got to get some animals going. And I thought, well, I'm thinking, see if you can guess what I'm making. Can you zoom in a little, Mr. Bobby, and see if you can guess? Because I think my prairie biome actually needs one of these. Can you tell what I'm making? A butterfly. Now, you all know how to make pop-ups. We've been making pop-ups for a zillion years. So these kind of things are just pop-ups. Oh, I forgot the most important part. you have to draw the stick. Okay, if your butterfly or if your bird or anything like that is going to fly, you're going to have to make a pop-up stick. I'm coloring it pretty quickly just to give you an idea. And of course, you cut that thing out. Okay. Like that. I'm cutting out very fast. I don't know how. So now I have my butterfly on a stick, and I can just, if you can go over here and see, I can put it right in. I can tape it right in there. Okay, and that's how you make your plants and your animals. Okay, little tape. Some of you are going to be so good at this, making these tape things. So there's my butterfly. Now I wanted to tell you about putting it together. Okay, you're going to have a platform. I just have a board here, and it's going to take tape. Okay, if you've got a piece of cardboard you can use, something like that. It's got to go on in. You're going to encounter a lot of problems when you do this. At first it's going to seem like it's not going to work, but I want you not to give up. Keep going. Sometimes you tape from the front, sometimes you tape from the back. You know, you're going to figure it out. And you will sometimes find that just the right piece of tape, the right place, right time, and there you are. So here's my background. Here is my middle ground, and what happened to my foreground? It's all the way over here. We'll just get it back in. There is my foreground. Now I just need some animals. I happen to have a few pine trees I made. I happen to have a bear. Now I put my bear on a stick so he can go like that, okay? And I have a moose. I'm going to put my moose in too. Maybe he'll go here, this moose. All right. So, this is a pretty fast idea of your biome project. I can't wait to see your biome and the plants and the animals that you're going to make to put in your biome. So be sure you take a picture and show me what you do. Bye.